here again today to talk to you today about this LS MT122. And it is a 2019 and this is my 50 hours of initial ownership, and I just finished my 50-hour service. I've owned this now for about 3 or 4 months and I just got 50 hours put on it, and I figured to upload a video today to talk about it because there's not that many people that actually own these machines and have published reviews. When I went to go buy a few machines, there was nothing on the New Holland and there was not really much on this. There was 1 or 2 people. Tony's Tractor, he's really good about the LS stuff. He's really, I would like to say, one of the experts on the LS tractor and the LS MT125. This is the LS MT122, so it's a little bit smaller, but I mean very, very similar. And I'm going to go over some of the similarities and differences that this tractor has compared to the 125. And if you're deciding between the two, I'm going to tell you why I chose this tractor and why I think I made the best decision I made for me in my situation. And it saved me some money, and it gets a lot better fuel economy than I expected. So stay tuned, and I'm going to tell you things I like and don't like about this tractor, and some flaws and some really good things about it. In some ways it really blew my mind. So stay tuned for that, and let's get after it. So guys, let's get into a couple of things I don't like about this machine. The first thing is the fit and finish. And why am I going to the fit and finish? And I'm going to keep stressing this. This is the biggest thing. If you're mechanically handy or you don't mind like finishing up the product, that's basically what this I would say is. That's what the LS is going to get. You're going to save a little bit of money. I'm going to say the fit and finish isn't going to be nice. There's going to be a little bit of paint that's going to chip off. There's going to be little assembly issues that you're probably going to have to button up, loose bolts. I've heard loose lug nuts from other people. For me, there only one little small breakdown. The pin fell out of the pedal. I actually made another video on that. I put duct tape around to hold it in the middle of winter time. I actually ended up putting a hose clamp over that to hold it in place, and I'll show a picture of that. But that's the only thing, is the fit and finish, and the final finish on this product I think was subpar compared to New Holland's. Some of the paint, as I'm showing you guys, has chipped off near the steering rack. Just little things. I had a bushing in the backhoe that was bad right on delivery. It was just not prepped properly. One of the filters, hydrostatic filters, was loose and was leaking just a little drip. Just very, very small things. Some, I've heard people saying the lug nuts and bolts have been loose and you have to recheck all of them, especially on the backhoe and the front loader attachments. I would agree with all that. Just double check. Every manufacturer, you always want to double check. You never know. Who knows? Someone in the manufacturer could have been drinking the night before. We have no idea. That's the only thing. I just keep stressing the fit and finish, fit and finish. It's just not as thorough as New Holland's. The buttons, the control levers, they're kind of blank. They don't have a lot of, like, they're sticky. If you look at the New Holland's, like, hood latch button, it says push on it. This one's blank. Just little tiny cheaped out things. But it does overall, I guess, diminish the fit and finish on this tractor. That's the biggest gripe I have with it. It's just the small little things. I think LS just needs to work those bubbles out. The next thing I have to say that's poor about this is there's just lack of LS dealers. You can find a New Holland dealers a lot easier usually, or you can find John Deere dealers, you can find Kubota dealers, at least in New England where I live. I live in New Hampshire and there's only one LS dealer in the entire state. We're a small state, but still, if I pissed them off, I would be in trouble. So, granted, other tractors have parts that would fit, but the lack of dealers for these LS is kind of a concern. And then I just think that this thing, for a brand new machine, anything below 25 degrees, it just starts very poorly. That is my only gripe mechanically with this, is that cold weather doesn't seem, no matter what fuel treatment I use or where I store, even in this heated garage, if I leave it inside and I go outside to do snow removal, leave it outside for an hour, go start it back up, it starts poor. Poor for a new machine. For a diesel new machine, it starts really poor. And that was really it. And then it flips over a little. It's a little tippy. I feel like they should have made the rear axle a little wider. But then again, it would have changed the profile of the machine. So I get why it's so thin. I would just say if you're operating this machine, you're not familiar with machinery, be careful, because this is a very small machine. It's a very powerful machine. It's very capable. And it will flip over relatively easier than you would think. But besides that, I mean, just the fit and finish is the one thing I keep on stress about. And if you're a little bit mechanical handy, not even that mechanically handy, this tractor will work great for you. I would choose this over the New Holland again and again and again. And we're going to talk about the pros right now. There's so much more I really like about this. The biggest thing I liked about it was the flat deck and the easy to run. I can't stress that enough. That flat deck and the easy to run with the pedals, forward arrow go forward, back arrow go backwards. I actually have a next door neighbor. He's over 60 years old. Never ran anything, any kind of tractor, not even a lawnmower. I let him jump on the John Deere hydrostatic last year, mowed his lawn once with it, did okay. And then I just threw him on this, said forward to go forward, back to go back, bucket goes up, figure it out. And I mean, within 45 seconds, he was moving snowbanks. So easy to use, absolutely. Even my wife has never even got on a machine, very scared, hopped on, figured it out, had a good time. So I think this machine, if you haven't owned a tractor before, be cautious, but this is a very good machine. It's a little narrow and it's tippy. I've heard wheel spacers help from the tippiness, but again, it ruins your profile if you're trying to get in tight areas like I am. But that's the biggest thing is I'd say the flat floor deck, and the pedals are just easy to use, just easy to run. Some have these weird shifters, and it's just like with the rockers, this makes more sense to me. I also love the hydraulics on this thing. They're so powerful. Like I've said before, you can flip this thing over, you damage the machine. It's fantastic. I never run this machine more than 2100 RPM, ever. And a lot of people say, why'd you choose the M22 over the M125? Honestly, it was because I wanted a smaller tractor. It wasn't size-wise, just displacement-wise. I didn't need a lot of power. I knew at the MT125, I would not need the PTO strength. I would not need the extra horsepower difference. And when I drove both, there was really no difference. There's not really a big lifting capability difference. There's not a huge difference. If you're asking me, it's more peacock, well, I've got this horsepower. I looked at both engines, and it looks like the intake manifold's slightly different, but it looks like it's to a point where it wouldn't matter. And it looks like the ECU math is different. So it looks like it's just computer programming that changed it from the MT122 to the MT125. So I would always say get the MT122. I've never felt underpowered with this machine. If every time it feels 100% overpowered. I mean, I really don't run the backhoe more than 2100 RPM. It will lift the tractor right up at 2000 RPM in the back, no problem. I mean, 2000 RPM, I run it high range, lift heavy loads, four-wheel drive, and it doesn't bog down or move. Once in a while, if I'm lifting something super heavy, near the capability of the tractor, I'll bump up the RPMs to 2500, but I've never even ran it full throttle. I've never needed to. It's really impressive the power it has. The four-wheel drive system's super good. The rear diff does lock, the front doesn't. And the pump, I drove the John Deere, the Kubota, New Holland, and Coyote, a Bobcat. I drove all of their machines, and this and the New Holland didn't feel any different to me. And when I drove all of them, this is actually the best steering machine I felt with lifting the bucket. So if you're using the hydraulics going forward, turning and lifting hydraulics, this one felt like it bogged the least. No bogging really at all with it. The other machines, the John Deere, actually I didn't like because of that. It's just the layout, the features, the color matched hydros I really do like compared to the New Holland. It's kind of hit or miss. Some days I like the New Holland, some days I like this, but I think I've warmed up to just all blue. If you look at the New Holland, these will be all black. And that's the ease of use and the price. I mean, I saved $6,000 from this setup to buying the equivalent setup to New Holland. I saved almost $10,000 buying John Deere. And the John Deere people insisted that I needed more than I did. And I really just needed a very small machine. I have an acre of land. I like to lift up engines and stuff for freight delivery, so I put forks on this tractor. I have a little backhoe, as you can tell. I do like little side projects. I maintain a road here. I lift back snow, yard waste, leaves and stuff. So this really was the great machine for me. If you have a property like 5 acres or less, this is the machine. Don't get sold on the LS MT125. You know, if they're saying, oh, you need to brush hog, or they refuse to put a backhoe on it, here's proof. The machine runs great. It's plenty of power. It's everything you're going to need. if I could tell people to buy any machine, don't spend extra money. So buy the LMT122. If this one's going to be underpowered, the MT125 is going to be underpowered. I mean, there's no difference running a full load. You're going to end up breaking or flipping over the machine before you run out of power. And that is just a fact. I don't know anyone that's driven one of these or owns one that is going to tell you you're going to run out of power with one of these machines. And you're not going to. You're going to flip it over. You're going to break something. You're going to throw yourself off the tractor. You're going to break the bucket off. Something's going to happen before you struggle for power with this machine. And that is the best thing I have to say about this machine. Besides that, it's just easy to use, great comfort. I'm just really impressed. And the equipment they offer from the factory, I would definitely buy it again. And if you're out there trying to buy one of these, go ahead and do it. I'm under $250 a month with this, and it is definitely the way to go. It was under $20,000. I ended up spending $16,500 on this. It was totally worth it, and I have a really good dealer. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if this helped you decide if you wanted to buy this tractor, please comment down below. If you have any questions about this tractor, please let me know. Because after 50 hours of use, I'm really impressed with this thing. So thanks for watching.
All right, guys, the big differences between this and the 25 horsepower model is exactly that, 2 horsepower. There's no difference. There's no difference you're gonna feel. It's just a little bit different of a fuel map on this tractor. There's no mechanical differences. There's no frame differences, no body differences. And really, you're just paying for that extra horsepower. And if you're not brush hogging every day, it's really not worth it. I chose this tractor not because of price, but because it was less horsepower. Because I knew I would never run this thing to more than 2/3 of its capability. I was never going to lift more than 600 pounds. And as you can tell, it's what I need. I need a lawn tractor with a bucket and a backhoe that can do light duty stuff. This is ideal for that. It's commercial grade in my opinion, and it really does run well. So I would have to say this is the better purchase over the LS 125. I feel like a lot of people get sold from their dealers and they get misled saying they can't put a backhoe on that machine. This machine runs it flawlessly. You can show them this clip if they have an issue. So this tractor can handle everything I threw at it, and I just want to put a little side note that if you remove this backhoe and the front loader, this tractor is significantly lighter and it rides just like a lawnmower. But when you throw that backhoe and that front loader on, it really feels like a heavy duty big piece of equipment. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe.